I never thought I'd be fighting for my breath in my own living room because of an HOA dispute. But that's exactly what happened when Karen Westfield, the self-appointed queen of Sunshine Meadows, decided my medical equipment violated her precious neighborhood aesthetic. 3 months ago, I moved in. I have severe COPD, requiring supplemental oxygen, and I had confirmed my necessary medical accommodations were protected under the Fair Housing Act and the HOA's own bylaws. 2 days after moving in, Karen showed up, clipboard clutched like a shield. Her eyes immediately darted to the medical equipment beside my recliner. "What's all this?" she asked with obvious distaste. "Medical equipment. I have COPD. This helps me breathe." Karen made a note. "Well, medical equipment or not, it can't be visible from the street. Section 12, paragraph 4 of our bylaws clearly states that all homes must maintain an appealing aesthetic." I took a measured breath. Actually, medical equipment is exempt under both the bylaws and federal law. Karen, who had been president for 15 years, thrust a yellow paper into my hands. "You have 7 days to remedy this violation. After that, it's a $100 fine per day." The harassment escalated. Fines came for everything: an oxygen tank visible in my car's back seat, and even my wheelchair ramp, built precisely to ADA specifications. I cited legal protections. She invented emergency amendments. One board member warned me, "Just be careful. Last guy who challenged her found his hedges mysteriously poisoned." I knew I had to act. I installed security cameras. The real trouble began last Tuesday. I was having a particularly difficult breathing day and settled into my recliner with my oxygen unit humming. The doorbell rang. It was Karen. I ignored it. I was done engaging. 10 minutes later, there was a loud sound from my side yard where the external unit for my home oxygen system was installed. The alarm on my portable unit began to blare as the pressure dropped. Before I could connect my emergency backup tank, my front door burst open. Karen stood there, a ring of keys in her hand. "As HOA president, I have access keys for emergencies," she announced triumphantly. "And your continued violations constitute an emergency to our community standards." I struggled to connect my backup tank. "What did you do?" I managed between labored breaths. "I disconnected that eyesore outside," she said with smug satisfaction. Section 15 clearly states that no external mechanical equipment can be installed without board approval. My security camera captured everything: her walking to my oxygen unit, deliberately turning the valves off, and removing a component that she slipped into her pocket, all while narrating to herself about teaching him a lesson. I finally connected my backup tank and called 911. "I need police and an ambulance. Woman broke into my home. Disabled medical equipment. Can't breathe well." The police and paramedics arrived within minutes. While the paramedics checked my vitals, I pointed to my security app. One officer viewed the footage right there on my phone, his expression turning grave as he watched Karen deliberately tamper with my life support. Karen stood in my living room, arms crossed, still protesting. "This is HOA business. I was simply enforcing the covenants." "Ma'am," the officer said slowly, "you entered his home without permission, tampered with life-sustaining medical equipment, and removed components. That's breaking and entering, criminal negligence, and potentially attempted manslaughter." Karen's face went pale. "But I have access keys as HOA president for emergencies." "A perceived violation of community aesthetics is not an emergency, ma'am," the officer replied, taking out his handcuffs. "Please turn around." As they led Karen out in handcuffs, she was still protesting about bylaws and property values. Neighbors had gathered on their lawns, watching in shock as the community's all-powerful president was placed in the back of a police car. 2 days later, released from the hospital, I received a certified letter from the HOA board. They had held an emergency meeting and unanimously voted to remove Karen as president, effective immediately. They also voted to waive all my previous fines and permanently approved all my medical accommodations. The district attorney called soon after. Karen is facing multiple felony charges, including breaking and entering, tampering with medical equipment, theft of medical components, and reckless endangerment. Her real estate license has been suspended pending investigation, effectively ending her career. She is looking at substantial jail time and damages that will likely force her to sell her beloved home in Sunshine Meadows. I saw her being escorted by her attorney to collect items from her office at the clubhouse. When she spotted me watching from my porch, my oxygen tank prominently displayed, her face contorted with rage and disbelief. For once, Karen was completely speechless. Her reign of terror over Sunshine Meadows ended not with a policy debate, but with a calculated felony. And now, thanks to the security camera, I had the evidence that would ensure she paid the highest possible price for violating my right to breathe.